React, and someone else controls your life. Every time. Anger feels strong. Defensiveness feels justified. Reacting feels like power. But it isn't. Not even close. That's the first lie you've been living. Every word you speak in anger, every slight you let cut you, every inconvenience you let shake you. Someone else is holding the strings to your mind. And here's the truth. They lose control the moment you stay calm. The moment you refuse to react, their leverage disappears. How many battles have you already lost because you couldn't stay still? Calmness isn't passive. It isn't pretending nothing matters. It's refusing to feed chaos. The one who reacts is already behind. The one who waits, observes, and chooses wins. And here's the part no one tells you. The world doesn't get quieter when you stay calm. It gets louder. People expect reactions. They want you to break, defend, explain, explode. And when you don't, it terrifies them. Silence becomes a weapon, invisible but devastating. Every time you stay still while others rage, you expose something they cannot handle. Discipline under pressure. Most people never notice this power. They misunderstand silence. They think control is external, something you hold over others. They don't get it. True control is internal. It starts with refusing to hand away your mind, your focus, your peace. The quieter you remain in chaos, the stronger you become. Every emotion you resist, every urge you ignore, every slight you let go. It compounds into invisible armor no one can touch. React, and you're a prisoner. Stay still, and nothing, not words, not insults, not chaos, can reach you. Here's why calm people scare others. Not because they say much, but because they cannot be moved by provocation. They are untouchable, inside and out. And if you're honest, the moments you regret most weren't when you stayed calm. They were when you didn't. Stop reacting, and the world loses its grip. The moment you choose calm over chaos, they lose control. Lose your cool, and someone else will control your day, your mood, your power. That sting in your chest, that replay in your mind. It lasts 90 seconds, unless you feed it. Most people feed it. They rehearse the insult, replay the scene, build stories around it. Imagine what they should have said, how they should have responded, what they'll say next time. They sting themselves, again and again, for hours. Why does one careless comment burn your day? Why does silence from someone else tear you open? Because your mind is trained to react, not reflect. While you stew, they move on, calm, untouched, unaware. You're the prisoner. The first surge of anger is biological. Chemicals flood your system. A spark. But the fire that destroys your day? That comes from what you do next. Here's the Stoic secret. That initial surge lasts 90 seconds. After that, everything else is choice. Pause. Delay. Observe. Don't feed it. Reaction wants immediacy. It wants you to act, yell, escalate now. A breath, a pause. 1 second. The heat dies on its own. Clarity appears. Power returns. Anger is a signal, not an order. It passes if you let it. Most people don't. They cling. They assign meaning. They say, I'm still angry because what they did was wrong. The truth? What they did was a moment. What you're still doing is a choice. Real strength is restraint, not fear, not control over others. Master yourself. Every tight chest, every clenching fist, every racing thought. A moment of choice. Do you feed the fire or let it die on its own? Every insult is temporary. Every slight is fleeting. Stop reacting, and the world loses its grip. Choose calm over chaos, and nothing touches you. Someone pushes your buttons, and the power is yours. You control the reaction. It's easy to blame them, their words, their tone, their actions. But the button was already there, built by past experiences, beliefs, old wounds, that sarcastic joke, that passive jab. It only stings because it touched a bruise you've carried. The reaction? That's yours. And that's not blame. It's freedom. If the pain is yours, the power to change it is yours too. Most of life feels like someone else holds the remote. They press it. You react. But the connection is active only if you allow it. Cut it. They press all they want. Nothing happens. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your estimate of it." Radical ownership, not blame. Freedom. You can't control what they say, but you can control the meaning you give it, the story you build around it. That story is where your suffering, or your peace, lives. When someone triggers you, instinct says, react, retaliate, shut down. But what if instead, you asked, why does this affect me? That question changes everything. You stop being passive. You become the investigator of your own triggers. No one can push what you've healed. No one can hurt what you've outgrown. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Your buttons are unconscious programs, built in childhood, reinforced by old wounds. Make them conscious. Take back the remote. Respond from awareness, not old pain. The space between stimulus and response, that's power. It lets you say, that's theirs, not mine. Hold your ground. Stay anchored, unaffected by chaos. People will test you, trigger old stories, shake your balance. But they are not in control. You are. Every person who gets under your skin is a mirror, not of who you are, but of what still needs attention. Epictetus said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him." Emotional freedom begins when you stop handing out keys to your peace, when being offended becomes a choice. Pause, observe, respond with clarity. Stop letting others live rent-free in your mind. Reclaim the power. That was always yours. Criticism stings, but it doesn't own you. Seneca said, "He who is angry at the things which happen is like a dog barking at a stone." That's what blaming others feels like. Barking at something that will never change, never respond, never give you peace. The real work is internal. Emotional mastery isn't about stopping others from pressing your buttons. It's about disarming them altogether. You don't need indifference to stop reacting. You need awareness. Awareness creates distance. Distance gives you room to choose. The moment between being triggered and choosing your reaction, that's where power lives. That's where you take the remote back. Not to mute the world, but to control your own volume. Decide how loud others' noise will be in your mind. The more you practice, the quieter it becomes, the less they push. Because eventually, there's nothing left to push. Peace isn't out there. It's in here. In the silent space between stimulus and response. In refusing to give away control. In seeing your buttons for what they are. Not who you are, but who you've been. Once you see them clearly, you can start becoming someone new. Someone who lives peace quietly, consistently, powerfully, stoically. Anger feels strong. It surges like fire, hot, fast, blinding. In the moment, it feels like power, alive, untouchable, in control, standing your ground, hurting back. But that's the surface, the mask. Underneath is something colder, quieter, vulnerable. Reactive anger isn't the original emotion. It's a shield, a cover for what's too raw to face. Think of the last time you snapped. A comment caught you off guard. A tone felt disrespectful. Slow it down. Strip it to its essence. Often it's not disrespect. It's rejection, not annoyance, fear of being misunderstood. When we explode, we rarely ask, "What am I actually protecting?" It's easier to be angry than to be vulnerable. Easier to raise your voice than to admit something pierced your worth. That's what most anger is, a shield over old pain, a reaction to echoes from the past. Epictetus said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master only when you permit it." The anger isn't about them. It's about everything that came before. Notice it, understand it, and choose your response. Stop letting others live rent-free in your mind. Reclaim the power. That was always yours. That sting you feel, it's not about them. It's an old bruise. And for the first time, you get to decide how it affects you. The moment touches a wound we never fully healed. Instead of feeling it, we turn it outward. Stoicism doesn't say suppress emotion. It says examine it, slow it down, get underneath it. Understand what fuels your anger, and you're no longer ruled by it. You don't have to act from it. You can sit with it, learn from it, choose a better response. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." It's not blame, it's understanding. Most anger isn't justice, it's personal pain. The longer we wear the mask of rage, the more fragile we become. Because if you need anger to feel powerful, your power depends on being provoked, and that means you're not in control. True strength isn't reactive. It comes from clarity, from knowing exactly what you feel and why, from the self-awareness to say, "I'm not angry because of what they said. I'm angry because it reminded me of something I haven't dealt with yet." Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, your mind is complicit in it." Seneca warned, "Anger, if not restrained, is often more hurtful than the injury that provokes it." Socrates reminded us, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Each quote deserves its space. Let it land. Let it sink.
That pause is everything. It interrupts automatic patterns, gives you a moment to choose. Instead of react, every choice chips away at the illusion that you are your anger. You're not. You're the observer. You're deciding what to do next. Meet anger with curiosity, not fear. Pause. Ask, what's really going on inside me right now? Stop letting others live rent-free in your mind. Reclaim the power that was always yours. Pause, examine, choose. Reclaim the power that was always yours. Every time you react, you hand over your power. Every single time. If you never question your reactions, you'll live your life being pulled by them, controlled by them, defined by them. But look beneath the mask, and you'll find a deeper truth, a truth that doesn't need to yell, doesn't need to defend, a truth that simply understands. And in understanding, you become unshakable. Anger will still come. You're human. You feel. You care. But it doesn't have to own you. It doesn't have to wear your face or speak in your voice. It can rise, and you can let it pass. Like a wave on the horizon, you don't have to fight it. You just have to stand still, long enough to let it wash over without knocking you down. That's the way of the Stoic. Not to be emotionless, but to be masterful, to feel everything and still respond with intention. That's not weakness. That's not avoidance. That's power. Silent, unseen, real. The more you practice it, the less you need the mask. Because underneath isn't weakness, it's truth. And truth, faced with courage, is stronger than any fire. Most people live as if reactions are automatic. Like lightning after thunder, something happens, and without thinking, they snap, lash out, shut down, spiral. So quick, so familiar, it doesn't even feel like a choice. But it always is. Between what happens and what you do next, there's a sliver of silence, an invisible space, a pause you can step into, like standing at the edge of a wave before it crashes. Your body reacts, heart rate rises, breath shortens, a flood of emotions surges. And then comes the choice. You can fire back, or you can wait. You can let instinct run the show, or let intention take the wheel. That space is everything. Your peace, your clarity, your power. Most people never find it, not because it's hidden, but because they never look for it. Life rushes past that moment. Emotion hijacks them. Before they realize, they've crossed the line between awareness and reaction. Yet that fleeting pause is the only place real freedom exists. Viktor Frankl, who endured unthinkable suffering, wrote this: "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose." That space won't always feel comfortable. It won't always feel obvious. It won't always be easy. But it's always there. And the more you notice it, the larger it grows. Half a second, one breath, a pause that changes everything. That angry text you were about to send suddenly doesn't feel necessary. That defensive comment you were preparing doesn't sound so wise. And without doing anything else, you just changed your trajectory by doing nothing at all. Notice the pull, the surge, the instinct to react. Pause. This is where your power lives. The Stoics called this mastery of the self. Not cold detachment, but a refusal to be ruled by impulse. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most people live like they have no power, as if emotions are facts and reactions are destiny. But the moment you step into that pause, you see the truth. You're not bound by events. You can break the link. You can choose a different response than what anger, fear, or pride demands. And that choice, repeated over and over, builds character. It's easy to think restraint is weakness, that walking away is surrender. It's the opposite. The strongest people aren't the loudest. They aren't the fastest to strike back. They're insulted and remain composed. Because they've trained themselves to return to the space between trigger and response. They don't react out of ego. They respond out of principle. And in doing so, they become the calm in the storm, the unmoved in the chaos. Carl Jung said, "What we do not make conscious appears in our lives as fate." That instant pull to react, to meet aggression with aggression, isn't fate, it's habit. And habits can be changed, but first, they must be seen. That's why the pause matters. It interrupts autopilot, gives you the chance to make something conscious. To ask, what story am I telling myself right now? Your reaction doesn't come from the situation. It comes from the meaning you assign to it. A harsh tone becomes disrespect. A delayed reply becomes rejection. A disagreement becomes betrayal. Those are stories, and you get to edit the script. That's what the pause gives you. A seat in the writer's chair. Epictetus taught, "No one can harm you without your consent." The insult isn't in the words, it's in how you receive them. This isn't theory, You've felt it before. Think of a time someone tried to provoke you, and it didn't work. Not because they were kind, but because you were grounded, present enough to pause, to see through their words, and stay steady in yourself. That wasn't luck. That was you, accessing your space, self-control, dressed in stillness. It doesn't mean perfection. You'll still have moments where emotion slips past, where the reaction comes too fast and leaves you wishing you'd handled it differently. That's part of the practice. But even then, you can learn, reflect, ask, where was the space and what kept me from it? The more you do that, the sharper your awareness becomes. You start to see the wave before it crashes. You feel the urge to react, to speak, to lash out, to let anger win. And then you remember, you don't have to. You choose every time. Your jaw tightens, your chest races. You feel the heat rising, ready to lash out. But what if you didn't? What if instead you stepped back, took space, breathed, responded with clarity? Anger rises, the heat builds, but you're not the fire. You're the one noticing it. Observe, feel, without feeding it. One small pause changes everything. You don't have to scream or react just because the emotion wants you to. That subtle shift, from identification to observation, is where calm is born. Emotions pass. The observer remains, the constant within the storm. The sky doesn't rage when clouds pass through. It stays open, still, allowing whatever needs to pass. You can be like that. Step back, breathe, respond with clarity. Your awareness is always bigger than the feeling, always. And each choice, each pause, each conscious response builds a power that doesn't need to fight, because it already knows it's in control. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." Pause, notice, choose, become unshakable. The next time anger rises, remember, you don't have to obey it. You already have the power. Calm doesn't happen by chance. It happens when you stop being pulled by your patterns. Awakening isn't magic. It's noticing your patterns, seeing them play out, and saying, "I don't need to follow this one again." That's being the observer, not cold detachment, compassionate distance. A willingness to watch your emotions without being dragged under. And that is powerful. It's peaceful. It's not that you stop caring, it's that you stop being owned by what you care about. You respond from center instead of being pulled off balance. You feel it immediately. One moment, frantic and loud. The next, spacious and quiet. When you're the observer, nothing owns you. Not even the strongest emotion. You become like a mountain, still, grounded, even as the wind howls around you. But this takes practice. It doesn't come from a quote or a video. It comes from noticing your tension, your racing thoughts, and choosing to watch instead of react. That practice builds emotional muscle. Eventually, what once overwhelmed you becomes just another wave in the ocean. You stop fearing it. You stop trying to control it. You just let it move through. Seneca said, "A wise man is indifferent to everything he cannot control." Emotions arise naturally. They only control you if you mistake them for reality. Thoughts with energy, sensations with stories. Not permanent, not truths, not who you are. The wise don't repress. They hold space. Let emotions visit without letting them take over. The more you do this, the less you fight. The less reactive you are. The more present, the clearer. People notice. Not because you tell them, but because it shows in your movement, your voice, your responses. When others lose control, you become the calm, the unmoved. Some days, old patterns sneak in, but now you catch them faster. And each time, you remember, you are not the anger, the anxiety, or the reaction. You are the one watching, the one choosing, the one holding space for something stronger than noise. So next time a rush of emotion rises, you don't have to become it. Pause, breathe, watch, let the wave pass. Step forward unshaken. Most of us spend life avoiding difficult people. The boss who micromanages, the family member who interrupts, the stranger who cuts us off. It's natural to see them as obstacles, irritants we endure, until they leave us alone. But what if they're not in your way? What if they are the way? Step through, steady. You are unshakable. Your emotions don't control you, they train you. Every moment of frustration is a moment of practice, training restraint, clarity, grace under fire. People who get under your skin, they're emotional weights. They challenge you. They show where you're still reactive, where your ego clings to control. The person who annoys you most is your mirror, not your enemy. Their tone offends, your sensitivity. Their control irks, your discomfort. The specifics don't matter, your awareness does. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show men what they are. Not that they make you weak, not that they're unfair. They reveal you, your reactions. Shoulders tense, breath quickens, mind rehearses conflict. Don't belong to them. They belong to you. Notice them. That's the gold. The more aware you are of your reactions, the more control you have over your responses. The wider the gap between stimulus and action, the more peace you feel. Not because the world changed, because you did. Disrespect, belittlement, they're opportunities to explore old wounds with curiosity, not judgment. Most people aren't trying to ruin your life. They're just living theirs, imperfectly, like we all are. Expect rudeness, impatience, thoughtlessness. When it happens, you say, "Ah, there it is," and return to your center. You notice, you breathe, you choose. The world acts as it will. Their path is theirs. Your calm is yours. How you respond is yours. This isn't about moral superiority. It's not spiritual bypassing. It's maturity. Every annoyance is resistance training for your soul. The heavier it feels, the more it calls you to grow. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "People act according to their nature. What they do isn't yours to control. But what you do? That's always your choice." Boundaries matter. The strongest boundaries are set from calm, not chaos, from clarity, not fury. Your practice builds muscle. Notice your tension. Observe your racing thoughts. Pause. Breathe. Step into the space between trigger and response and own it. Socrates said, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle." Maybe the person you can't stand is stressed, afraid, or lost. Not an excuse for their behavior, but enough to soften your need to punish it. You don't have to match their energy. You don't have to prove a point. You don't even have to win. The strongest move is often doing nothing at all. Difficult people become teachers, not threats. Every uncomfortable moment, a chance to practice, to notice, to stay steady, to protect your peace. Those who once derailed you, they no longer have power, not because they changed, but because you did. You reframed the story. You stopped being the victim. You became the student. Life keeps testing you. Old wounds, familiar triggers, unconscious reactions, harsh words, cutting remarks, looks you've seen 1,000 times. You don't have to be swept away. You pause, you breathe, you step into the still point in the storm. And in that pause, you find your power. Even when chaos rises around you, you remain steady. Even when others lash out, you hold your calm. Your peace isn't given, You've earned it. It is yours, unshakable. The saddest part? Most don't even notice it. They think someone made them angry, ruined their day, disrespected them. But really, a landmine got stepped on, a hidden trigger, something hidden in your past, still alive beneath the surface. We all have them. Words that pierce, behaviors that make your heart race. These landmines aren't random. They follow a rhythm shaped by memory, pain, and meaning. The more personal it feels, the more it taps into a memory, a wound, a past moment. A raised voice isn't just loud, it may echo a parent who never listened. A sigh from a partner isn't just breath, it carries the weight of past dismissal. Without awareness, the present always feels like the culprit. Awareness changes everything. Not to shame yourself, not to label yourself broken, but to map your emotional landscape. Where do you collapse? Where do reactions feel too big for the moment? That's where the gold is. That's where growth lives. The goal isn't to avoid conflict. It's not silence or distance. It's walking through life with eyes open, seeing the landmines before stepping on them. Epictetus said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." Step back, notice, ask, what part of me just got touched? Not as a weapon, not punishment, but as a door. This hidden part of us is what Carl Jung called the shadow, the parts we repress, deny, or ignore. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Your triggers are unconscious messages disguised as sudden emotional explosions. The more often they arise, the more they reveal what still needs attention. But that's not a curse. It's your work. It's your roadmap to freedom.
Old triggers will still arise, pulling you toward past patterns. The difference? You'll notice it happening. You'll feel the buildup before the eruption. You'll step into the pause and reclaim your choice every time. And in that awareness, you gain choice. Maybe you won't say the thing you always regret. Maybe you won't let someone hijack your day. Maybe, just maybe, you'll remember. Not every provocation deserves your energy. Tracking your landmines isn't about becoming emotionally sterile. It's about becoming emotionally sovereign, knowing yourself so deeply that nothing catches you off guard. You're not cold, you're clear. You're not detached, you're directed. You know what hurts. You know why it hurts. You know how to move with it instead of against it. This kind of maturity changes relationships. It reshapes conversations. It protects your peace. Not by avoiding life, but by understanding your place in it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." There is no greater calm than walking into your day already aware of what might try to throw you off. Not paranoid, not anxious, just prepared. When you know your triggers, they lose their surprise. When you understand their origins, they lose their power. You stop blaming the world for every sharp edge. You start taking responsibility for your own healing. Triggers aren't just reactions. They're messages from wounds you've ignored, not to fix or silence, but simply to see. Once you see them clearly, you stop mistaking pain for identity. You stop letting reactions write your character. You start living from intention, not survival. As you move forward, don't just see the people who test your patience. See why they do. See what past pain each offense touches. Feel your body. Track the tension that keeps arising. That is your compass. That is the beginning of mastery. You wouldn't walk into a battlefield blind. Your mind, your relationships, your day, they all ask one question: react blindly or respond wisely. The more you know yourself, the easier the choice becomes. Each time you choose awareness over impulse, calm over chaos, insight over injury, you're not just avoiding pain, you are building peace, one conscious moment at a time. There's a story we tell ourselves when we're tired of trying. Some people are just born calmer. We see someone composed under pressure, someone who doesn't raise their voice or take things personally. We assume they have something we don't: better wiring, better parents, better luck. That story excuses us, gives permission to stay reactive, to explode, to shut down, to excuse outbursts as part of who we are. Here's the truth. Calm is not a gift, it's a skill. And like a muscle, it strengthens with repetition, awareness, and intention. Nobody walks into a gym and lifts the heaviest weight on the floor. Emotional control is no different. Every pause before speaking in anger, every moment you sit with discomfort instead of projecting it, you're building strength, not just mentally, but neurologically. You're rewiring yourself to respond with intention instead of habit. Those tiny choices, repeated over time, become who you are. But this process isn't glamorous. It's not quiet meditation with incense in the morning. Sometimes it's biting your tongue when everything in you wants to snap. Sometimes it's walking away from an argument, not from weakness, but from understanding that peace outweighs winning. Being the bigger person, even when no one notices. Because this isn't about being seen, it's about being solid. Carl Jung said, "The parts of ourselves we refuse to confront become the forces that rule us." Most people avoid the truth of their reactivity. They say, "That's just how I am," or "I can't help it." That's not self-awareness. That's surrender. That's choosing comfort over transformation. But the uncomfortable work is where change lives, where calm stops being a concept and becomes practice. There's no timeline, no deadline to become unshakable. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. Every time you surrender to anger, defensiveness, or pettiness, you hand your power away, where it never belongs. There's a quiet dignity in this practice. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need applause. It shows in the way you respond when someone disrespects you, in the way you carry yourself through traffic, conflict, and noise. People may not notice at first, but you will. Because peace isn't about validation. It's about alignment. This practice isn't soft. It isn't passive. It's powerful. It means taking full responsibility for your inner state, not blaming, not waiting for the world to be quieter. You train yourself to be okay in spite of the noise. You become the calm in the room, the one who doesn't absorb chaos, the one whose presence changes everything. It starts small. Pause before responding. Take a breath before lashing out. Say no without guilt. Leave the conversation without needing the last word. These aren't heroic acts, but over time, they accumulate. They become a rhythm, a standard, a way of life. And the more you lean into it, you realize calm isn't innate. It's a strategy, a muscle you train. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Calm isn't a trait you're born with. It's earned through practice, repetition, and showing up to your self-intention. So the next time someone notices how calm you are, don't brush it off. Own it, not as a personality trait, but as the product of years spent training in silence. You don't wait for peace. You build it, one response at a time. You were never meant to be ruled by anger. You were meant to rise above it, not by force, but by understanding. Every time you choose stillness over reaction, you reclaim yourself. And if you want to take this practice even deeper, my last video, "They'll Regret Ignoring You," the Stoic way to master emotional control, will guide you further on the path. Your calm is your power. It's unshakable